Welcome. In this episode, we're unraveling the action comedy film Guns Akimbo. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated. Let's dive in. The opening scene of the movie features a virtual floating head criticizing society for finding satisfaction in news reports, movies, and tales about death and chaos. The solution to this problem is Schism, an underground combat club where contestants face off to the death in front of spectators from all around the country. The best player is Nix, who constantly faces off against other opponents, but always manages to brutally dispatch them all. Meet Miles Lee Harris, a secluded computer programmer uninterested in socializing. He endures a mundane job under his disagreeable boss, Xander. Spending his free time engaging in provocative discussions on the Schism online forums. His privacy takes a hit when a Schism admin traces his IP address, leading Miles to shut down his laptop. Shortly after, he gets a message from his ex-girlfriend, Nova Alexander, whose photo he accidentally liked. He dreams of Nova putting a drawn tattoo on his arm while they're at a park. Richter, the ruthless mastermind and psychopathic leader of Schism, breaks into Miles' apartment with his henchmen, Dane, Effie, and Fuckface. They destroy his laptop and inject him with a tranquilizer. When he regains consciousness, he finds guns attached to his hands. He responds with extreme panic and is soon informed through a message that he must eliminate Nix within the next 24 hours. Nix, on the other hand, is also tasked with hunting down Miles as her final mission before freedom from Schism. Prior to this, she'd eliminated several thugs under the influence of drugs. Nix enters a police station to trace Miles' location through his phone. Ultimately, she locates his apartment, where she attempts to kill him. However, Miles manages to narrowly escape the situation. Miles walks outside, struggling to hide the guns attached to his hands. He approaches two police officers for help, but they react aggressively upon seeing the weapons. Schism's drones recorded the incident, and viewers mocked him online. Forced to flee, he takes refuge in an alley. While escaping, he accidentally shoots one officer but helps conceal the wound before fleeing again. Miles crosses paths with Nova in the park before Nix can find him. While attempting to clarify his situation, he unveils the guns, triggering Nova's panic. She pepper sprays him, rushes out of her car, and disappears. Miles finds himself back in the alley, grappling with thoughts of suicide. His plan is interrupted by Glenjamin, a homeless man. Glenjamin intervenes, worried about the potential facial damage due to the gun's angle. After a quick cleanup, Glenjamin provides a humble meal, a dirty hot dog, before encouraging him to seek help in his dire situation. Nova makes her way to a police station and engages in a conversation with Detective Degraves. Following her departure, Degraves and his colleague Stanton breach Nova's phone security to trace Miles, although their primary focus remains on Nix. Miles heads to his workplace, seeking help from coworker Hadley to disable his phone's tracker. Xander arrives, berating Miles once more. Fueled by frustration, Miles points his guns at Xander, demanding an end to the abuse. However, before a change can occur, Nix enters and fatally shoots Xander. She then targets Miles, prompting his escape by stealing a car. Pursued by Nix on a motorcycle, he seeks refuge in an abandoned structure. Despite his attempts to negotiate, Nix persists in her attempts to kill him. Miles shoots at an object, causing an explosion, briefly triggering Nix's PTSD and providing a distraction. Miles reaches out to Nova in another attempt to clarify his situation, but his call is interrupted when Richter and his accomplices invade and abduct her. They force him to kill Nix, threatening Nova's life otherwise. While fleeing, Miles inadvertently stumbles upon a drug exchange, prompting a confrontation where assailants target him. Nix intervenes, engaging in a deadly firefight. In the confrontation, Miles unintentionally shoots one of the key dealers in the neck, resulting in a slow and agonizing death. Profoundly impacts him emotionally. Degraves and Stanton locate Miles and take him into custody. While Miles anticipates medical attention, Degraves informs Miles that they need him to lure Nix to them. Degraves discloses a past where he imprisoned Richter, but upon Richter's release, he retaliated by detonating a car bomb that killed Degraves' wife and son. He managed to save his daughter, Nix, who subsequently descended into madness, targeting Richter and becoming entangled in Schism. Shockingly, Stanton shoots Degraves, then shows Miles a video from Richter, stipulating that he must eliminate Nix within 30 minutes to save Nova's life. Miles seeks assistance at a gamer cafe and convinces one of the women present to aid him in hacking into Nova's phone to locate her. She reveals that he's Schism's most viewed player, nicknamed Guns Akimbo by viewers. In a hurry, Miles heads to the pinpointed location, where he encounters Richter and his trio of henchmen. A shocking scene unfolds as they shoot Nova in the head, intending to provoke Miles. But upon removing the covering from her head, Miles discovers that it's actually Hadley. When Miles moves to a different open area, Nix discovers him there and seems to shoot him dead. Miles' passing seems to have disappointed viewers. A cleanup team brings him to the Schism headquarters, where Miles kills two of the bad guys with a single gunshot to the head. Then, as agreed, Nix joins him there. Rewinding to just before the shooting, Miles had been patiently waiting for Nix to confess that he knew Richter had murdered her family before he showed her Degrav's corpse. They worked together to defeat Schism and prepared Miles to wear a Kevlar vest. Miles uses the chance to remind everyone watching how messed up they are for supporting all of this, as the two show themselves to the camera to let Richter and viewers know that they are alive and coming for them. In order to murder Miles and Nix, Dane and Effie arrive. Miles manages to shoot Effie in the head while being pinned down by her. Dane cuts off two of her fingers and comes close to hitting her with a hammer, but Nix takes some drugs, becomes energized, and uses the hammer to break Dane's bones. He uses a gas tank to try to blow them up, but Miles enters to complete the job in spite of Nix's warning. As Richter attempts to take Nova with him in a helicopter, other henchmen go after them. After instructing Miles to kill Richter for her, Nix chooses to go on her own terms since the circumstances are not in their favor. Before rushing up to Fuckface while carrying explosives and blowing herself, Fuckface, and all the other goons to hell, she dashes out, firing the henchman while being shot herself. Miles follows the instructions Nova provides for him to go to the roof. Before they can flee, he finds Richter, and he wastes his last round by shooting Richter. He shoots Miles 3 times, but Miles keeps approaching. Once Nova had freed herself, Miles hit Richter with a handgun before tossing him down the balcony. Richter informs Miles that Schism will become a well-known brand that will go worldwide as long as he stays on. Miles weakens Richter's grip, leading to his fatal fall. All throughout the world, viewers applaud Miles' victory. Miles briefly envisions Nova rushing back to him. However, this is a result of severe blood loss, and Nova is genuinely horrified by witnessing Richter's death. Later, Miles has scars from his wounds and is sitting in his vehicle when he opens a file. He comes across a comic book published by Nova and finds that she is using it to publicize Miles as a well-known hero. Miles vows to do all in his power to eradicate the whole criminal organization as Schism spreads over the globe under new leadership. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more cinematic adventures.